What happens when you take one QSC CB10 and put it on a speaker stand in the middle of a neighborhood park, hand the microphone to a fantastic singer and say, let's see what this little battery-powered speaker can actually do? Well, that's exactly what I did this past weekend. We had our annual neighborhood summer festival, and once again, I hired Courtney Bowles, joining us with her amazing guitar and incredible vocals. And I thought, you know what? I've been talking a lot on my channel about the CB10, and I want to see how, let's get it out of the studio and into a real world situation. So I asked Courtney, want to use my QSC CB10? She said, sure, let's try it. And that's exactly what we did. So let's get right into the first sound test, because I know that's what you all want to hear, how it sounded out in the field. Here's Courtney performing one of her original songs just for this video and just for us. Let's see how it did outdoors. Roll the footage.
We shared some stories, counted satellites that passed, kept sipping and wishing, but the night moved too fast. Wandered around till we found a patch of night, dark enough to watch the heavens come alive. Drinks in hand and not a thing to do. Next thing we knew, it was 1:45.
Pretty impressive, right? And what's really interesting to me is that this isn't a controlled indoor demo. We're outdoors. There's an audience. There's ambient noise. People are moving around. And that little 10-inch speaker is doing all the heavy work. I also wanted to get Courtney's opinion because, let's face it, I'm not the one standing in front of the speaker singing like she was. I wanted to know how it felt from the performer's perspective and how she thought her vocals and guitar sounded, and whether she felt that the CB10 had enough power for this type of gig. So here's what Courtney had to say at the end of the gig. Hey everybody, I'm here with Courtney. We had a neighborhood festival today, and I said to her, I'm going to bring the CB10 for her to try out.
Yes.
So how was it using this with your song?
So I normally use a Yamaha Stage Pass. This is quite different, but it was really user friendly. So it has an app that you can download on your phone. You can open up everything. There's an A, B, C, different columns. So it's like super easy. Whatever you plug into, that's kind of like what it means. So super user friendly. Has effects, which at first I thought there wasn't going to be any effects and I was a little scared, but the reverb works perfectly. And that's all in the app. But there's also a whole bunch of like presets for EQing depending on what you're playing. And some of those can work really well too. So yeah, I would give this a solid 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Yeah.
And it had good power too.
It was really loud.
Like, look at the size of this park behind me. Like, we had everybody everywhere here. So I just want to thank you for coming out and jamming for the couple hours. And you know what's funny is I checked the battery levels the whole time. You were running this at 60% volume. The 3-level battery indicator, we were still full.
That's amazing.
We were still full and running 60% for 3 hours.
Yeah, we've done.
So again,
that's incredible.
Thank you so much.
Maybe
for
a 10 out of 10 then.
10 out of 10. Hey! Thank you,
right.
Courtney.
No problem.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
After using the CB10 outdoors like this, I came away pretty impressed. The first thing that stood out to me was the clarity. The vocals stay clean and present, and that 10-inch woofer gives you some surprisingly good controlled low end for a speaker of this size. QSC rates this up to 127 dB peak SPL, and it weighs about 27 pounds, just under. So you're getting a pretty serious amount of output without having to haul around a 50, 60 pound cabinet. And because it is battery powered, like we had it running for 3 hours at the park, you don't have to worry about outlets and extension cords, which is perfect because we didn't have any extension cords in the park. You just stick a microphone, guitar in there, EQ, use the app if you want, done. It was very easy. And using this at home in a backyard party or ceremony or anywhere, I could see so many uses for this type of speaker. And that's why I wanted to do this quick video. So you're asking, who is this speaker really for? I think the CB10 is a fantastic choice for smaller parties, cocktail hours, wedding ceremonies, acoustic performances, backyard parties, home events, musicians, singers, and mobile entertainers. A single CB10 like we used here can really work well when you don't need to fill a massive space or with dance floor volume. And honestly, for something like a cocktail hour or wedding ceremony, yeah, having a speaker that you can just simply carry in, put it on a stand, and run from battery is fantastic. You could also use one as a floor monitor or secondary fill speaker. And if you do put two CB10s together, now you're starting to have a pretty serious little battery-powered PA system. And with that 10-inch woofer in each of those cabinets, you're going to get considerably more low end as a pair and more coverage. So that backyard party and small party, I think a pair could really get things bumping. And this is something that I think is really interesting about the CB10 and the battery-powered PA market in general. We're starting to see battery-powered PA speakers that are much more powerful and much more capable than they used to be. The closest comparison I have found in this category right now is the Yorkville EXM Pro 10, which is another 10-inch battery-powered all-in-one speaker system that delivers serious output and excellent sound. Yorkville rates the EXM Pro 10 at 133 dB peak SPL with 29.5 pound weight. So we're getting into territory where these battery speakers are no longer just little portable speakers. And here's the funny thing, guys. Plug some of these into the newer battery-powered PAs into the wall, and in many situations, you'd never even know that there was a battery inside it. They're PA speakers that happen to be battery powered. Think of it that way. So they're not shortcomings. I actually think it's the opposite. Having the battery that gives you flexibility. You can use it wherever you want it, where there's no power, and have it as a backup if AC power fails. Or simply leave the extension cords at home when you don't need them. So after getting the QSC CB10 out of the studio and into the park, would I recommend it? Absolutely, with the right expectations. I wouldn't tell you this is the speaker you'll need to run a 300-person outdoor concert with one cabinet and expect nightclub level bass. No, that's not what it's designed for. But for small to medium applications where you just want excellent vocal clarity, good low end, and portability, battery operation, and professional quality sound, this is a very compelling package. And at around $799 US with Canadian pricing currently around that $999 to $1159, depending on, of course, where you buy it and if it's on sale. It's certainly not the cheapest battery PA out there, but you're getting a serious professional speaker with a strong feature set. For me, the biggest takeaway from this test wasn't specification on a piece of paper. It was standing in a park, watching Courtney perform, hearing her voice and her guitar come through one CB10, and realizing just how far battery-powered speakers have come lately. And a huge thank you to Courtney, once again, for entertaining our neighborhood. You did a fantastic job, and for being willing to jump into this little speaker experiment during your gig. I appreciate that. If you enjoyed this real-world test, let me know in the comments below. Would you use one CB10 for your event, or would you go with a pair? And if you want to see more real-world speaker tests like this, I do my best to get it out of the studio and show you different ways of using it. Again, guys, follow the channel. I'm Chris from Sonic Spectrum. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. And as always, I will see you in the next one.